Welcome to the Finkel Show. Sit back, relax, be entertained, and maybe even learn something.
Hey, all this is pre-recorded. Okay. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you can hear my voice, is it really that atrocious? All right. I think there's some improvement. Anyway, I want to talk about repenting and penance. I'm in a program that talks a lot about amends, apologies. Amends and apologies are different. An apology is admitting it wrong and is literally telling the person you are sorry. And amends is how can I make the harm I've done you in the past whole? If I stole money, I should probably not only apologize and admit it, but pay the money back, maybe some kind of interest. So amends isn't exactly an apology, and penance is a little bit different. To repent. Can I think of an example of someone who has repented? I can't think of any good examples repenting, but I've done you wrong, and I apologize, and I do my best to make it whole, to correct the wrong, pay you back the money I stole, go forth and still no more. I don't know if I'm making sense. Or suffer some sort of penalty. I'm not a Catholic. I'm not too familiar with the Catholic Church, but as I understand it, a person of the Catholic faith will go into a confession where they admit they're wrong to their priest, and the priest gives them suggestions how to correct the wrong, probably includes an apology, but the apology is not all. But the priest, I believe, will also assign the person a penance. I don't know how much I agree with that because, if you watch TV, Hollywood, you get the idea that penance is saying Hail Mary 5 times or counting on the rosary, the rosary thing, do the Stations of the Cross, some kind of exercise, admitting that you were wrong, demonstrating that you're wrong, and paying a penalty for it. I don't believe penance, repenting, if, let's take Muckster. If I've done Muckster wrong, if I stole his donuts, not the other way around, he stole my donuts, but if I stole Muckster's donuts, a good penance would probably be apologize to Muckster. Replace the donuts I stole, maybe add a few more. And the penance would be to go forth after I've apologized, after I've made Muckster whole with the donuts, go forth and maybe donate donuts to others, people who can't afford donuts. That might be a good penance. The reason I'm doing this, and at this time, not due to penance, due to a desire not to create more problems, I am not dunking on any YouTube character you may be aware of or you may see in what I'm about to show. I mean nobody any further harm. I am not undoing harms that I've done in the past, nor have I ever in this subject matter. All right. first, let me see if I can find immediate asset. Nope. I think Mux recently reminded me that I have to change that. Okay. Now I'm under the Think tab. And there it is. Okay. I am not at this time making fun of this guy. I am not belittling him. I am not intending him harm or anybody in his circle at this time. I am merely showing this as a reminder of something that's been said in the past.
I hope old Sarge Finkel goes to prison. I'll wait.
All right. What was that in reference to? To the best of my knowledge, that was in reference to some alleged pending criminal charges. I can't remember the Kentucky verbiage, but something that amounts similar to RICO. Conspiracy. Also, one of the alleged charges was forgery. I can't remember the charges. There were 4 very specific charges, and at least 2 of them were felonies that I never committed. I'm going to share a screen. Share screen. Entire screen. How about that one? Okay. There is my handsome face. Oh, okay. What am I sharing? This was a live stream I did to 2 channels, and I never self-liked it. Okay, I liked my work. Okay. Remember to like your own work. It helps the Al Gore's rhythm thing there. All right, this was done 2 days ago, according to this. 147 views. Not great, not bad. A lot of those were probably after it aired. I think this one was pre-recorded too. I don't remember. All right. And this was an open message to GS. Honestly, I don't remember the full context, but the message was intended for generally specific, also known as subpar gaming. And it was 2 days ago. I actually don't remember the context of this. In this, I got comments. Let's go by newest first. 2 days ago, a YouTube character known as @KFAR, he says, "Love how Chris was lying in the chat." Oh, that spurred the memory. Okay, this is the one where I'm rambling on. No, Chris was never in this one. Okay. I'm getting my live streams of the past confused. Okay, but I think KFAR is referring to the day that I was actually live, not pre-recorded live. And GS came up and we had a polite conversation. And then Chris came up and, well, the conversation turned out to be a little bit less than polite. I never did do a 10-step on that to see what my part was wrong on it. Maybe I should. As I think about it, I don't remember doing any harm to anybody, but okay. My good friend, Muxter, who we still donuts from each other, you still waiting for Finkel to get arrested? What Muxter is pointing out there is reference to that clip I just played. That was KFAR Reacts, I believe they call him. He has a channel. He does shows with KTZ, and they do body cam stuff. In the past, he's done commentary, And there's been a lot of confusion about how close or how distant he is to Michael Kaiser, fraud at Wrangler. I'm not slamming any of that right now. I'm just trying to refresh everyone's memory. Are you still waiting for Finkel to be arrested? Hope Arts Old Sergeant Finkel goes to prison. I'll wait. Prison, not jail. Prison. Is that what it is? Yeah, it said prison. Okay. And KFAR, actually, it's just 38 minutes ago. KFAR responds to Muxter. He repented. Finkel, Old Sergeant Finkel, David Finkel, Shadow Finkel, whatever you want to call me. If I'm correct, KFAR's referring to the live stream where Chris and GS and myself were on panel. And Muxer's referring to the clip where KFAR said, I hope Old Sergeant Finkel goes to prison. I'll wait. And then KFAR says, well, he repented. Not sure how I repented. Let's look back at these felonious 3 felonies and 1 misdemeanor charges that were allegedly going to be applied to me. And according to Fraud at Wrangler, who knew for a fact Kentucky will extradite. And since then, there have been claims that it was all a joke. Well, I don't know if it was a joke or not. I do know it involved Fraud at Wrangler. He's the one that claimed that JJ was pressing these charges and that Kentucky was going to extradite me for these 3 felonies and 1 misdemeanor. And one of the felonies included the Kentucky version of RICO, conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. Whew, okay. Involved that person. It involved JJ, John J. Scarborough, Reed County jailer, who allegedly was going to or did try to press these charges, or more recently, allegedly, he was joking about. Okay. Those are people involved in my alleged crimes and my alleged wrongdoing. Somehow it was perceived that I did JJ wrong and Kaiser was, what they call on YouTube, white knighting. We laughed at and mocked JJ and Kaiser around these alleged charges. I think I explained recently, maybe in this video, I don't remember. I explained that I never really feared that I would be convicted. I did worry that I was going to have to spend a lot of time and resources, which I do have time and resources. I'd rather spend them elsewhere in dealing with this on a legal matter. It's always been my belief that I would never get a conviction. It was actually somewhat belief that the prosecutor would never actually apply these charges. So it involves Kaiser and JJ. And somehow KFAR decided that he could opine that, yeah, he hopes I go to prison and he's willing to wait. By the way, that whole thing unraveled in April of 2024, over a year ago. But KFAR is now claiming that I repented. I'm curious, if I understand penance and amends and apologies, when did I ever apologize to Kaiser or JJ? Never. When did I try to make them whole with these alleged crimes I committed against him or them? Never. When did I go forth trying to stop crimes similar to what I was accused of? Never. When did I do some other activity to punish myself or accept punishment, correction, for the joke of the Johnson & Johnson had federal charges from the Department of DOJ, but I made it vague enough that people led to believe that I had some kind of document on John J. Scarborough, Meade County jailer. Never. So I repented. I don't think mocking, laughing at, making fun of, bringing it back up as in, haha, you guys are wrong. I don't see where I repented for the crimes that KFAR was waiting for me to go to prison for. I could be wrong. Maybe he was talking about something else. Can't think of anything else that I would legitimately be sentenced to prison for in my entire life. Legitimately. Yeah, there was that cop who lied and said I was doing 85 and a 55, which is reckless driving to the point where I could be taken to jail. No. So yeah, I don't know. But for the act of making a joke about Johnson & Johnson being vague enough to let people come to their own conclusion that I was talking about John J. Scarborough, who goes under the name J.J. Scarborough. I never apologized, agreed with, supported Michael Kaiser or J.J. Scarborough. So KFAR, if you're out there, by all means, let me know how I repented for those alleged crimes. Maybe he who later claimed he was joking or he was playing along with the joke, John J. Scarborough, maybe he just found it in the goodness of his heart to just forgive me without me having paid any penance. But I paid no penance. Sorry. My next class is going to be on tubes. Tubes. T-U-B-E-S. I realize my mouth is funny. It's hard to understand what I'm saying. Tubes. Like a paper towel, cardboard tube. A tube. That's my next class. Cheerio, and everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day.
I don't know what those two putas are talking about. I am the wind beneath Finkel's.
Hold on. It is obviously me. I am the wind.
You guys, this is stupid. I knew him first. Obviously, he is nothing without.
Oh, you knew him first. I am so sick of this. I knew him first bullshit.
Me too.
I don't care what anyone says. I am Finkel's favorite.
If it wasn't
for me, he'd just be one more rambling old man on the internet.
Come on, you guys. Why can't we all just get along? To be honest, I like to think I am the wind beneath my own wings.
Shut up, Finkel.